We're looking at a 1962 Zenith 790YK Super Navigator. This radio I found on eBay for $10. It came without battery holders, and so the seller was not able to test it, didn't know if it worked, and that kept the price down. And in fact I got it for the opening bid. No one else bid on it. When I got the radio, it didn't work. I tacked in a 9-volt battery to replace the 6 C cells that would normally go in the battery if the holders were present. But it runs just fine on a 9-volt cell. And the problem I found was simply earphone jack was corroded, and it wasn't letting the sound get through to the speaker. Unfortunately, to clean that earphone jack, which is mounted on the back of the chassis, I had to pretty much disassemble the radio, remove the speaker, and while I had that out, I recapped the radio, and now it's playing very well and picks up a lot of stations, a very sensitive receiver. These were made to serve as radio direction finders. You have a switch right here that you can put over on NAV for navigate, and it cuts out the automatic gain control circuit, and it makes the radio very sensitive to the direction of a radio signal, and you can use it to home in on a radio station that you know and find your way back to shore in the event that other navigation equipment fails, or you have just lost your way in some manner. But anyway, let's give this thing a try and see how it sounds.
I had a DVR as well, but it was a tremendous show, a lot of fun.
Now, I know you weren't like right up on stage, but can you just, hook a brother up? How good does Carrie Underwood look in person?
Well, it certainly wasn't that close.
Using comical, entertaining, gut-busting humor, jolly, laughing. Listening to the Bluegrass Depot here on Virginia's Country Legend. We're coming up on the 4 o'clock hour, and
more.
We could save money by...
Used to feeling God's presence whenever I'd go to the church service, and I'd pray through the day. I'd read the Word through the day. I was occur. Okay.
Under Chapter 11.
Skinny about the CMAs, but also you got
issues. So the whole bottom line,
They're working for you. Do you feel better now?
Well, come on.
If you're part of the left, regardless, you're not a racist.
Cuando me brinda una sonrisa, hasta pienso que me eleva. Me dan ganas de abrazarla y no.
Va más allá.
¡Ay, no puede ser!
Descubre lo que Internet te puede ayudar a hacer en todos conectados a...
Usually I can get 6 to 8 stations around here on AM with most of the radios, and as you can see, this one is just picking up all kinds of stations here in the late afternoon. It's a very rugged chassis. It's got the socketed transistors that Zenith originally started using in the solid-state transoceanics and the very early Zenith 500s. Over here, I think you can see it, is the 9-volt battery that I'm using instead of the 6 C cells that would normally fit in that area if I had the holders. And this is the earphone jack that was bad on this chassis, so you can see how you would have to tear everything out to get to it to clean it. Now that's a 1/8 inch earphone jack, and then it also has a 1/4 inch jack on the outside. This radio also has a long wave band. You can switch this over here to long wave. Back when this radio was made, long wave would have had weather and other information that boaters would have been interested in, particularly in the Great Lakes area where Zenith was headquartered. And then over here you have a shortwave band that runs from about 2 to 4.8 megahertz, which included marine band and some weather primarily. Both of those bands work, although there's not much on those in the daytime. In fact, there's nothing on long wave anymore in the United States except for navigation buoys around the coast. On the shortwave band, there'll be a little activity tonight, but most of the international commercial shortwave stations are a little higher up in the band there. All in all, this is really a very nice radio. It turned out very well, cleaned up pretty good, and it's really an awesome performing radio. I would imagine that this radio would outperform the majority of AM radios on the market today.